Man, damn, son. I left my wallet. So I'm probably gonna have to walk a little bit faster to make it to my destination. But this is what I figure. I usually make it 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes earlier. So I got a little bit of time. I just probably can't stop at that fine establishment, a 7-Eleven, to get my coffee. But we may. We got to see how things line up. But again, I test my own little theories. I always say, if you give yourself enough time, then you're never late. And even if I do miss this 5 o'clock joint, I'm always going to be early, you know what I mean? Because I'm still going to be early to work. So it is what it is. I look at it as like having an emergency fund of money. If you save up your money, if you do things right with your money, you can have something like something come up and still have enough money in your account to pay for that thing that just came up. So I look at my time the same way, man. If I stack up enough time, I got stuff like this happen, and I still be on time. You dig? I'll be able to recover it. Plus, listen, man, I've been doing what I've been doing for damn near, going on 15 years, a little bit more than 15 years. So even if I'm late one day, the history that I established off of it, it ain't gonna be too much damage, man. It's like the way you eat and with your health. If you stack up enough good days, man, you can have one day where you mess up your diet and it won't hurt you too much, my people, So let's get back to where we was going and where we was going with the whole podcast, man. And we got a good one lined up for you today. We talk about that 10% health again. We talk about work a little bit after that. Then we talk about personal growth, right? And the personal growth message I'm going to speak about a little bit later on is for men. You understand? For men. And this is a way for us to get back out of that rut, put yourself back on the map, feel a little bit better about yourself. And this is not things that's going to break the bank or things that's like groundbreaking. It's just regular, normal things that you can do to feel better about yourself and to improve your confidence from day to day, my people. So we start with the health, keep the integrity of the show. Big Mine is back on. He said, I left 15 hours ago. You might have been in management for like 20. Yeah. It's been like that, close to 20 years, Big Mine. Close to 20 years, you know what it is. But yeah, So health. The health has been going good. I took all my shots. And that's really just half the part of it, man. You take your shots, you take your medication when it comes to this diabetes thing, and you really ahead of the game, man. You really ahead of the game. Yesterday, I damn sure did have me those 5 meals, those 5 little short meals, and it feel good, man. It definitely feel good to wake up without that residue that I was telling y'all about in the other episode. And the residue that we speak about is alcohol, hangovers, things like that. None of that today. Feel great. I'm ready to eat. My appetite is on point. Next thing we speak about is the career. Somebody said, climb the next flight post. What do you say? Climb the next light post. Somebody said, climb the next light post. Nah, ain't no climbing no no night post, people. I ain't got that type of energy. Not this early in the morning, Not this early in the morning. So we got 22 people on the check-in, man. 2 likes. Hit that like button if you are in to just regular stuff, man. We ain't breaking the bank over here. We ain't doing nothing too special. Steady growth. I'm looking to attract people who think similar ways. We got a jogger over here, but it is what it is. Good morning, how you doing, man? He got his headphones on. Homie can't hear me. Yeah. So it is what it is, my people. So next thing we talk about the career. Like I said, I was working from home yesterday. Went to the library over here, Roosevelt Library. Hooked up my computer. Got away from the crib, away from all the madness, and was just chilling. It was real good, Nothing too much came up yesterday. Today, when I go in, what we got to do. There's a case that I want to put together, man. It's definitely a case I want to put together, but it has to be okay with upper management. You understand? With my manager. It got to be okay with my manager. I've been running it by him, but He don't want to focus on that yet, which I guess is cool. You understand? Like all I could do is just keep reminding him of it. I got to play my position. Play my position, my player position, you dig? Definitely got to play. Damn, I don't think I'm going to make it, man. Damn, it's already 4:46. And I got what? In 13 minutes. I'm going to try to beat the buzzer, man. We're going to see. We're going to see what happens, man. We definitely going to see what happens. But I said, what? Somebody said, what do you do exactly? What do I do exactly? I work with numbers, man. I work with numbers. I'm a numbers guy. You understand? A numbers guy. I went to school for computer science. I work with numbers. I put together numbers every day. I then, put together charts, graphs, and things like that, and basically present my information. And us in management, we tend to try to make decisions based on these numbers that I put together, man. So that's the gist of it. I ain't gonna tell you where, but that's the gist of it. You know what I mean? You feel me? But we're gonna speak about today. The main topic of today is getting yourself out of that rut as a man, and I think we all gonna go through it as men. We all go through it, man. We all go through it, And the reason why I started having these talks is because, like I tell you, with my health, I'm getting older. I don't have any children yet. I'm 45 years old. I'm making that push this year. So when my kids get, 20, 25, 30, I'm most likely ain't gonna be around. And this is just real talk. I'm most likely, somebody say, how your day been? The day just started. And it already feel good. I had left my wallet at home, had to go back. That's why I'm a little bit late today. But it is what it is. It is what it is. We still gonna see if we can make that 5 o'clock train. I got 12 minutes. And we gonna see if we can do it, man. We gonna see if we can do it. Yeah. So again, I ain't gonna be here forever. And I know realistically, since I waited so long to have children, that they are going, when they in their 30s, if I live right, man, I'll be like 70, close to 80. So, a lot of times they're not gonna be able to get some of my teachings or some of the things in which that I went through in life. And I definitely, somebody said run. Nah, I ain't running, kid. I ain't running. I ain't running. We just gonna have to walk pretty fast and see what happens. Well, so yeah, I ain't gonna be around forever, man. So I guess, I want them to learn from this. And plus, if you have kids, or even if you in your 20s right now, maybe you can listen to some of this stuff I say, and hopefully it can help you. You dig? So, yeah, man. So, ruts, man. Ruts. I think last week I told you cats, earlier this week, like YouTube cut me short, man, because I was talking some stuff and I used some words that YouTube don't necessarily like. So they cut me short. And that made me think, how can I say this stuff in a different way, right? How can I say this stuff in a different way? Now, back before COVID, back before I changed my life around, listen, I was in a bad state, my people. Bad state. I would judge people, try to hold on to just the small things that I felt made me better than other people. And that was attacking people on a moral level and attacking lifestyles. You understand what I'm saying? Saying, okay, well, this person got this person got that, and they think this and they think that. But in actuality, they wasn't happy. So that was my angle. That was my defense mechanism. That's what I was using to try to say that I'm better than somebody else. But it was all coming from a defensive standpoint. And it was all to try to make myself seem better than people. But the only way that happens is because that you're lacking in certain areas, that you're lacking in certain areas. And I realized that, man, that I was lacking in a whole bunch of areas. But it ultimately started from me not knowing who I was. And there being a disconnect between my personality and my actions, man. Somebody said behind you. Somebody say that every single day. And every single day, I got to do it. I got to look behind me, make sure ain't nobody behind me, you know what I mean? Because I watch a lot of serial killer stuff. I watch a bunch of stuff like that, But ain't nobody behind me, my people. Ain't nobody behind me, But that's a good one, man. Damn, son, I really don't think I'm going to make it. I got 9 minutes. Hopefully the train is late. Yeah. So the first thing I want to tell my kids or anybody that's going through a rut, man. Listen, the first thing you got to do is know who you are. You know, you got to get down to the nitty gritty. Our minds do crazy things and blocks out some of the stuff that we don't really feel too proud about, you know? And it does it automatically, yo. So it takes actively digging back into that mind and seeing exactly who you are, exactly what, you know, words, what things you look at to trigger you, and why. Ask yourself why these things bother me, you know what I mean? You gotta ask yourself why it bother you, because you start to dig behind your personality and seeing that, damn, maybe this happened to me. And, you know, I never really registered, or I never really broke down why things made me feel that type of way. This is still nice, but they gonna have to do something, man. You know what I mean? We about to go on February, and they still got this stuff up. They gonna have to take it up, man. They gonna have to take it up. Yeah, so, you know, you look at that, you know, and once you start seeing who you are as a person, you start seeing what bothers you and why these things bother you. And that's one of the perfect telltale signs to be like, yo, damn, yo, this is what's bothering me. So these are the areas in life in which I have to start doing better at, and which I got to start taking more responsibility toward, you know? And another thing with men and what I feel we must do, not even just men, just people in general, you know what I mean? The first thing you gotta do, true, you know, other than look inside of who you are and see where you are and what triggers you and those types of things, is to clean, man. Get clean. Like, yo, personal hygiene is a big factor, kid. You know what I mean? It'll help you think very, very clear. Even when I'm sick, right? And I can't take a shower every day, and I go a couple days without taking a shower because I physically can't do it. The best thing I could do, or the thing that gets me into great spirits, number one, is to get my ass in the shower, son. Take a shower and clean yourself. Like, that does so much for you. It does so much for you, man. You know what I mean? You get up and you take a shower. You don't have to put on no fine fragrances or anything like that. Just take a damn shower. You know, get yourself clean. Wash your hair. Shave. You understand? When I was in the hospital for 3.5 months, like, the first thing that these nurses and the doctors would do is try to get my spirits up. And the way that they got my spirits up was shaving me. I told you cats before, a Filipino nurse. She used to come in there, call me handsome, used to call me like, oh, you could be a, you know, if you wanted, you could be a model. And just that little bit of stuff used to always make me feel good. Somebody said, no, 7-Eleven, if you want that train, you sound winded. No, I don't think yeah, I guess maybe. You know, no 7-Eleven, you're right, if I want that train. It ain't gonna be no 7-Eleven today. I got 6 minutes to make it. We gonna see. We gonna see. I hope I make it. I think I'm gonna make it. But we gonna see, yo. You know? So yeah, you know, the nurse used to come through. She used to say a whole bunch of stuff to me. She used to come in and shave me. You know, the nurses and everything used to wash me because I was dirty. You know, I was literally in a coma, basically. You know, and I couldn't walk, couldn't even move. So they used to come in and just keep my spirits up. And that's the first thing, man. Get your spirits up, kid. You gotta get your spirits up. You gotta groom yourself. You feel me? Once you start feeling better, another thing that you can do is to, you know, iron your clothes, make sure you look nice. These are all things that make you feel better as a person, and it don't have to be expensive. You can get cheap clothes, but as long as you're neat, as long as you carrying yourself, you're smelling good, you're groomed, you start feeling a lot better about yourself, you know? And then the second part about it was knowing who you are. And when you know who you are, you know what you want, you know what you don't want, you kind of know the type of group that you need to be around, you kind of start to know what you want to do in life, you know? If you like museums, you start getting into museums. If you like music, you start getting more into music. But the ultimate point is that you're finding your own interests. You're finding your own interests. And when I was in my 20s, I spent so much time trying to attempt to be like a bunch of these dudes that I'm nothing like, that I wasn't raised to be like. And YouTube had cut me short on Monday, when I start, you know, I had mentioned names or whatever, which I shouldn't have done, but I started hanging around people who really had nothing in common with me. And just me being a person who didn't know who I was around these people and I was making a fool out of myself. Like, I tell y'all one story, man. You know, I got family. I mentioned Terrace Avenue a couple times and Hempstead or whatever. And listen, Terrace was one of those blocks where if my mother caught me on, or any of my family members saw me on Terrace, they was like, yo, B, what are you doing over here? Get off the block. Your mother and father ain't raised you like that. Get your ass up off the block. But I got a little bit, when I'm like 22, 23, I got my freedom. Man, I was over there on Terrace, just hanging around people that I shouldn't have been around. And I got a cousin who was a rapper. Y'all could go on YouTube, still catch some himself, Tragic, you understand what I'm saying? Go Tragic, Terrace Avenue. I used to be on stage trying to rap with these dudes, but I would get drunk. I'd be passing out on stage, times where I had things pointed, I ain't gonna say it like that, but messing around with gangsters, getting into gangster stuff with gangsters, you understand what I'm saying? And I really wasn't no gangster. And I know that everybody I was hanging around could see that I wasn't no gangster. And just trying to be like them cats was making myself look stupid. You understand? And as a man, I'm drinking. I'm trying to be around these people, trying to do all of that nonsense when that really was not me. And everybody could see it. And from a point of respect and from a point of being an adult, I was like basically doing myself a disservice, man. And I wasn't feeling good about myself, you know? So one of the hard things I had to do was look back at who I am, son. Somebody said, Google Terrace Ave, Hempstead, New York, if you don't know. Exactly, Big Mont. Somebody else said hi on the check-in, Sirius J said, hi, what up, Sirius J? Yes, sir. So, yeah, I'm around a whole bunch of people. I should not have been around my people. And, it's all just going against who I am as a person, taking shots at my ego, knowing that this is not who I am, man, So, again, I had to take a long and good look at myself, see how I was raised, see the types of things that I was into. And I started doing a bunch of reading, man, and I really started developing things that I was into. The first thing I got into was like evolution and science. And this was a topic that made me feel real good about myself because I like learning and also like trying to figure things out. And biology, damn, here go the train, there go the steps. I got a minute. Shit, I'm out to jog, man. Peace out, y'all. Peace out, kids. I'll let